Anyone looking to get a discount on their new EV should do so quickly, because if National gets into power, that scheme is on the scrap heap.
But National is promising to supercharge electric vehicle infrastructure by delivering 10,000 new chargers by 2030. Political reporter Amelia Wade was with Christopher Luxon in Christchurch.
Right, your time starts now.
The political race is on, and of course that means a stop to Christchurch's Rollickin Gelato.
No.
Not just scoops, Christopher Luxon also serving up some election sweeteners, more EV chargers.
We have one public EV charger for every 95 EVs in the country. That, to put it in perspective, is the worst in the OECD.
Promising to spend $250 million on 10,000 new chargers by 2030.
The biggest issue and concern is actually range anxiety about, will I be able to travel a country like New Zealand?
But the scheme to discount electric cars would be made more redundant than a hairnet on a bald man. The scheme is paid for by taxing polluters, and the Nats want to scrap that tax, which means no more discounted Teslas like the one Luxon's wife bought.
Why should people who can afford to pay actually get a subsidy for an EV?
I think it's Orwellian to say that you're intending to hit, net zero by 2050 and at the same time roll back the most successful policies that are reducing our emissions right now. It's bonkers.
But the Clean Car Discount has smashed it out of the park for increasing EV uptake. Last month, 61% of new cars were electric or hybrids, and our emissions profile has dropped by 1/3 on new vehicles. Our future depends on reducing emissions. We've made international promises to do so by 2030 under the Paris Agreement.
We're deeply committed to delivering on net carbon zero 2050.
In a lot of ways, 2030 is actually more important than 2050. It's crucial we hit it, because it's baked into our trade agreement with the EU, and New Zealand is looking at a $24 billion bill if we break the promise.
Steady the ship economically.
Luxon eventually got explicit. Are you committed to that 2030 NDC?
We are committed to meeting our climate obligations and our commitments that we have laid out.
But National is yet to lay out its detailed plan for how it intends to meet our targets.
Amelia, Christopher Luxon made another climate commitment today.
Aye, he did. Christopher Luxon today committed to getting the Climate Change Minister into Cabinet. He says because it's becoming an increasingly economic portfolio. Now, for the last 2 terms, the Climate Change Minister has been locked out of that nerve centre of decision making, and that has clearly frustrated the current Climate Change Minister, James Shaw, because Shaw told Newshub today that if they were to be in a position to help form a government on the other side of the election, that would be something that they would fight for. And the Greens don't really make demands more top priorities, so that really speaks to his frustration.
That is political reporter live from Ōtautahi, Amelia Wade.